gather around the table for another session of Dungeons and Drakfu's, returning after a week of vacation. I am Drak. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. Happy Monday afternoon, as you guys were able to see, the Tale of Drakfu did return, which means that obviously Dungeons and Drakfu's would return, but with a little bit of a stipulation. So in the Tale of Drakfu, I'm in Cataclysm content. In Dungeons and Drakfu's, I'm in Burning Crusade content. We can't really have that anymore. So what's going to happen for the next few weeks is I'm going to be doubling the Dungeons and Drakfu's you get per week. So you're going to get 2 dungeons this week as we move on and try to finish up the remaining Burning Crusade dungeons and raids. And as soon as we're done with that and we're in Wrath of the Lich King, if we're still in Cataclysm, we're going to resume back to the one a week schedule. But today we have an interesting one as we're back at Hellfire Citadel. And we're going to be taking on the final instance of Hellfire Citadel, the seat of the Fell Horde itself, the Shattered Halls. And back in the day when you did this in Burning Crusade, this is actually the earliest one I believe actually needed a key to be able to get into. As you can see, there's actually a gate in front of it. So this is one of the first attuned dungeons you needed to find. And people might have already noticed I have since transmogged the weapons that I have earned from Mount Hyjal into something a little bit more appropriate, at least for this week. So, this is usually where I go over the lore of the Shattered Halls, but here's the thing. We've already seen a lot of the lore. We went into the Hellfire Ramparts to take care of the forces there. We learned the horrible secret of Illidan creating Fell Orcs by using Magtheridon's blood in the Blood Furnace. This is just where the leader of the Fell Horde is, and that would be Kargath Bladefist. You guys might remember him from Warlords of Draenor, different guy. So let's go ahead and take the new quests, first of all with Khazarez. These elite, so Honor the Dying. Their elite warriors are ruthless, so powerful. Khazarez spits up blood. You have to kill them, or we will never defeat Kargath. So he wants you to defeat 4 Shattered Hand Legionnaires, 2 Shattered Hand Centurions, and 2 Shattered Hand Champions. And then we also have Stoneguard Stockton, which I believe is named for Corey Stockton, but I might not be right on that. We came here for war. They gave it to us. So he has 3 quests. Fell Ember. Khazarez is dying a coward's death. Grand Warlock Nethercurse placed a terrible curse upon him. Perhaps if you were to bring me one of the embers from his braziers, we could use it to counteract the magic before it's too late. So we need to get a Fell Ember. Then the second one is a very special cloth. Warbringer Omrog has killed more brave soldiers than any enemy I've ever encountered. He is ruthless, cunning, and extremely powerful. Take him down and bring me his war cloth, so that we may fashion it into a banner and show them the fury of the Horde. Okay, so we need to kill another boss. And then finally, the Will of the War Chief. Kargath was once one of the Horde's greatest heroes. He now wears the false mantle of War Chief. Bring me his namesake weapon, so that we can remember the champion he once was, rather than the monster he's become. So we need to kill Kargath Bladefist. So let's go ahead and get things started in the Shattered Halls. This is basically the biggest force of the Fell Horde. Let's just go ahead and group all these guys up, and yeah. There we go. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the auto loot because I don't want to grab things like Netherweave Cloth. They don't sell very well anymore. So there we go. But we are going to grab the money. So as you can see, there's a bunch of a bunch of Fell Orcs in here. They are literally bolstering their forces. And it's not good. And the funniest part is, like, Shattered Halls actually was part of a lot of the attunements that you had to do in Burning Crusade, including a bonus attunement for Karazhan, where if you wanted to get the Nightbane Urn, eventually you would have to come in here on Heroic. And from what I understand, this was one of the harder Heroics in Burning Crusade. I didn't take on too many of them. I already had enough problems with the Heroics I was taking on at the time. I probably should do it now, because I probably wouldn't suck at it, but back then I was a fledgling new tank, so it wouldn't have worked out. Okay, so continuing on. This is pretty much what Shattered Halls is. It's gauntlet after gauntlet of Fel Horde trying to kill you. So these Fel converts will keep coming until you cross over into this room and take care of all the enemies within it. We don't necessarily need to take care of all the guys sleeping unless they wake up. See, we can actually stop from there because the converts will come back. We'll sell that. And here we go. Here's the Houndmaster. Now, this was actually something I believe you could eventually get a key to just open up the Grand Warlock's chamber, but we don't have that key. So what we have to actually do is, well, go through the sewers. We have to go through the toilet to get to him. So let's have some fun going through the toilet. Whee! So much crap in here. Literally, so much crap in here. Not even funny. If I remember correctly, none of these guys drop really anything we want. So here's where you go up for Grand Warlock Nethercurse's chamber.
Pain amuses me.
And as any good warlock, he is punishing his converts. I'm just going to show this really quick. Yeah, he punishes them to near death. And believe me, guys, this was actually a mechanic. You had to get them down to a good portion, then pull them, and he wouldn't care.
Run, coward. Run.
And then he would fear them, which occasionally would mean, like, it could seriously throw things off.
Waste your time on that one. He's weak.
See, he just taunts them.
Don't waste your time on that one. He's weak.
There we go. So let's go ahead and look up the lore of...
Thank you for saving me the trouble.
Well, that's... I forgot. You actually pull him. So let's just go ahead and take care of him. Based on Fury! I believe I'm actually doing this on Heroic. Am I? Yes, I am now saved to the instant, so I am doing this on Heroic. So, I'm okay with this. So let's go ahead and go over the lore really quick of Grand Warlock Nethercurse. Nethercurse, once a shaman of the Shadowmoon clan, abandoned his reverence for the elements to master the art of wielding fell magic. The demonic energies at his command have left him a husk who finds delight only in torturing young fell orcs to test the limits of their mental and physical strength. Alright, so not a good guy. Oh, but you can get the fell... This is actually how you get the fell ember, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to sell the belt, because I can at least get some money off that. So what you got to do is, first of all, take this thing out of the amulet, and you get the Fell Ember, and boom. There you go. We now have our Fell Ember. So let's move on deeper into the Shattered Halls. And this is where yet another gauntlet begins, and this one was not fun, even just at normal. It was not fun. And I even knew tanks that were doing this at Heroic and having issues. Oh, but I also have Kargat's Execution. Oh, that's right. So there is actually a little bit of a debuff here you might have noticed. Kargat's Executioner. There are prisoners in here, and you need to save them. And you get additional rewards. But you only have an hour before you can do it. And this place took a while to complete. Well, let's go ahead and take care of that. We're not going to worry too much about the time frame because, well... we're kind of super overpowered for this place. And here's Bloodguard Purong, who's actually another boss. I forgot about him. Dang it. I keep forgetting he's a boss. Let's go ahead and go over his lore really quick. During the bloody siege of Shatrath, Purung stormed an enclave of Draenei paladins who had barricaded themselves within a corner of the city. He single-handedly slaughtered the defenders, but suffered a grave injury that left him incapable of following the horde when it later stormed Azeroth. Now recovered, Purung serves Warchief Kargath Bladefist in Hellfire Citadel, hoping to make up for the glorious battles he has missed and write his name in Orcish history with the blood of his enemies. Okay, so we have that, and moving on into the next boss, which is Warbringer Omrog, one of the cooler bosses of Burning Crusade. There are two really awesome bosses, and both of them are ogres. I cannot wait to show this to you guys. Oh, I need to also make sure that I kill off the specific stuff I need. Let's see. How do I bring that up? Okay, so I need Centurions and Champions still. What is in here? Centurion! We need that. Oh, I don't care about your guys. So we need to get these 2 Centurions, and then we can move on, because champions are a little bit further in. There we go. Deeper into the Shattered Halls we go. Oh, and you can't take care of the training dummies. Careful, they may kill you. And here's more Legionnaires. And more Reavers. Yes, this place is nasty. Well, it is the heart of the Fell Horde. And here are our Shattered Hand champions. You'll notice that all of these share one clan, the Shattered Hand, which is Kargath's clan. He was the leader of the Shattered Hand clan back in the day, and now they are the main forces of the Fell Horde. We're just gonna toss that. We don't need it. And we need to be a little careful in these hallways because there are Shattered Hand rogues that will attack us. And here's our next boss, which is Warbringer Omrog. So let's go ahead and read his lore, and then I'm going to tell a little story about him. Warbringer Omrog. The ruthless and cunning ogre Omrog is considered one of the Fell Horde's deadliest members. But this feared brute has a problem. The ogre's 2 heads have always struggled to agree on even the simplest matters. 2 years ago, Omrog began a 12-step plan to develop a synergy between his warring personalities. His heads have yet to decide on which step to start with. So, usually a 2-headed ogre means like a really smart ogre magi kind of thing. But Blizzard decided to play a little bit of a trick with these 2 ogre bosses. First with Omrog, which is basically for people who are heavily reliant on threat bars, especially tanks. This guy has a little bit of a swerve. The second head can basically say, "Nah, we're done attacking you, and we'll go attack someone else." This is actually a really great moment to test DPS back in the day, because if they weren't paying attention, they instantly died, and they blamed you for it. They should know this mechanic. That he literally will up and decide, the tank isn't worth it, I'm going to attack that guy. And it's random, because I've seen him attack healers and do that, and it sucks. Because he probably will obliterate anybody who he actually takes on, unless they act fast enough and vanish or whatever they need to do to avoid damage. But let's go ahead and take on Warbringer Omrog. The second one is actually cool, because he's going to be the next dungeon this week. You hungry? Okay, well, fist off your eye!
It's all your fault. I hate you.
I love it, because they'll fight the entire fight. It's awesome. Just constant anger moments. And the way that you would actually know if he actually started the whole taunt mechanic was he would literally say, "We kill someone else." And then at that point, it's time for your rogue to piss his pants. Especially if he doesn't know what he's doing. And speaking of Shattered Hand assassins, we can actually see them. So, boom! So there we go. We're 3 bosses in. Just gonna go ahead and grab as many points as I can. Take care of this Houndmaster. These could easily annihilate a tank too, by the way. Like, these rogues were nasty. But we're not going to worry too much about them, as we are at the end of the Shattered Halls, because there is the War Chief, Kargath Bladefist. Let's go ahead and go into his lore. Chieftain of the Shattered Hand clan and War Chief of the Fell Horde, Kargath is one of the greatest Orcish heroes in recent memory. Over the years, he has severed both of his hands and replaced them with weapons of war, a bloody ritual unique to his clan. The joy he derives from inflicting pain on both others and himself is legendary among the Orcs. As the Fell Horde's tyrannical ruler, he has channeled his ruthlessness and ferocity into forging an unstoppable army within the iron walls of Hellfire Citadel. So let's go ahead and take care of him. We have 49 minutes. Yeah, we're going to save the prisoner. This is not going to be an issue. Oh, you served the true horde, huh? I've heard this before. There we go. We can sell that. And Gloves of Oblivion. I think that was the Warlock set back in the day. And of course you get a epic item because you killed Kargath. who every end boss in the heroic versions of Burning Crusade instances gave an epic, minus an instance that got added later. So let's go ahead and talk to Stockton. So, Honor the Dying.
Kazarez is no more.
Okay.
Kazarez was not as lucky as I was, Drakfu. He rests with the spirits now.
So, Fell Ember.
Did you bring the ember? Kazarez deserves a warrior's death.
Alright.
I will sing many songs of his glory. Of his glories.
And you can get a blue pair of shoulders, very special cloth.
Did you bring me the cloth?
Yes, I did.
Well done. This will show those blood-crazed monsters what they're up against.
And Will of the War Chief.
Have you proof of Kargat Bladefist's defeat?
Dude, behind me. He's dead. He's right there.
We should not forget the orc Kargath once was, nor the lessons to be learned from his downfall.
And you can get a ring for it. But first, we have to take care of the Shattered Hand Executioner. Because I haven't been paying attention to him yet, now have I? I believe this actually was a heroic quest. You need to kill off the Shattered Hand Executioner, and you get some additional stuff like Primal Fire. Woohoo! And that actually does it for the Shattered Hall. So, we're going to go ahead and call it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for continuing to like, comment, and subscribe to my content. And when we get back tomorrow in the afternoon, we will be taking on the second dungeon this week as we venture back into Auchindoun for the final dungeon there, the Shadow Labyrinth. We'll see you then.